Peace, good to see you. Kian here for this week's video from my channel. Thanks for being here. Remember, if you love guitars, you love new music, or you love coming into home studios, hit that bell down here somewhere, hit the subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and you'll get to know when there's more stuff coming from my channel. So fantastic. Thanks for being here. I know you could be anywhere else, but you're here with me. This week's episode, what I'm going to talk about this week is why do I love guitars? Could be a long one. Why do I love guitars? I'm going to break it down into four parts. It could go on forever and ever and ever, but I'm trying to be constructive and how I can pack it all in. Okay, so cool, let's get into it. I actually think there's an argument to say that the guitar has been the most influential instrument on modern music. We can argue that the piano and the keyboard synthesizer has as well, but I think if you look back through the 50s, the 60s, definitely the 70s, the guitar was the instrument of choice for the songwriter and the artists who are emerging through those decades. I'll come back to that later in part 4 with the music. I'll also put my opinion on that question that's floating around everywhere as, is the guitar dead? Ugh. Cool, so let's have a look at part 1. What I've gone for with part 1 is feel and the looks of the guitar. When I was a kid, I grew up listening to music like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Free, the Doors, Queen, Status Quo, Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, the Black Crowes, Lynyrd Skynyrd, the list goes on and on, Led Zeppelin, it goes on and on and on. So for all those artists, all those musicians, every single band, every single element, I was always drawn to the guitar player. I was always drawn to the guitar. And it used to be, oh my, wow, they're just so cool. Just the look of the guitar and the way it hangs on your body and just the way it looks. So that was the first thing that caught me, the first thing why I love guitars. And then when I actually got to play a guitar, when I got picked one up, it was just the feel. I've said this in another video, that I feel the guitar and I love to feel it in my hands. People might think that's a bit crazy, but it's just the feel and the resonance and the way that it vibrates. I just love it. So that the look of the guitar, and then when I got hold of one myself and the feel, that's what really, really cemented to me that the guitar was the instrument for me. This guitar, I will do a set of videos on the guitars that I have, what I'm fortunate to have collected throughout the years. This guitar is a 1962 reissue, tri-colour Sunburst, 3-colour Sunburst with double binding. This was the very first professional guitar that I bought, or the very first guitar that I bought myself. All those years ago, I bought it from new. This is a Japanese model, so this was the first run of the Jap tellies. I bought this because it was better than the American Telecaster at the time, and in my opinion, the way it felt and the way it played. So I love this guitar. I've had it ever since. It's got a lot of scars on it. I don't think you can see there. It's been out, it's played. I don't know if you can see that. I will do a lot more. I'll do a video on each of the guitars and show you what I've got and where they go. I just love the feel of this guitar. It's a great sounding guitar, but I just love it. And it looks great. That's not the reason why I got it, because I think all guitars look cool. Whether they look cool on me, I don't know, but I just think they do, and I love them, and I think they look so cool. And this was the first guitar that I ever bought, for the feel and for the sound, which is coming next. So part 2. The sound of the guitar, what can I say? It's infinite. What you want to do with a guitar, I think you can do with a guitar. You can make it sound beautifully clean and really jazzy, or you can make it sound really dirty and mean and growly, and you can go for everything in between. I just love the variety of the sounds that you can get. I'm old school, so I will play, I'll ride my volume and tone pots whilst I'm playing an amp, a real valve amp, or even a simulated amp in my computer. But I'm old school, so the sound you can get from just this has got a 5-tone switch, a 5-position switch in it, instead of a 3 for a telly. The sound you can get from this guitar with just the switch in positions and the tone and volume is infinite. It's amazing. And you couple that with different amps or different effect pedals, it just absolutely blows. Your soundscape is infinite, and you can do whatever you want with the guitar. That was another thing that made me think, wow, that's the instrument for me. The tone and the timbre of the guitar, different guitars have different tones and different timbres, different sounds, different feels, different tonality. And as a guitar player, as a studio musician, you look to that. That's like your palette as a painter, so you can use a different guitar for a different sound or a different feel, so you can get a different part or a different vibe going on a song. Like I said, you can get a lot of sounds from this guitar that you can get from another guitar, but it won't sound the same or it won't feel the same. So you have to have, it's your palette, and it's different guitars for different courses, different horses for different courses. I also think with the guitar, I learned very early on the pickups, the electronics, you can just change them. So if you didn't like something, I've gone back to the original pickups in this, but I have changed them out and put other ones in, I think, which every guitar player does. Tinkering, I think it's called, or modification. But I've changed them out, put them back, and you can just change, and this guitar could sound totally different with a different set of pickups in. And I love that, because that gives you an opportunity to build on what you've got, what you like, and that's another reason why I love guitars. The other things that you've got for sound, different body shapes give you different sounds. So the 335 that I've got here, it's a hollow body guitar, so that will give me a different sound totally to what this is acoustically. But also when I plug it in, because that's got different pickups in. So again, it just makes it so wide, and you can got so much to work with to be creative. Strings as well, different gauge strings, different type of strings, different composites of metal that they use to make strings. All these things build an instrument that is just completely and utterly amazing, and you can do whatever you want with it, and you can get the sounds that you want with it. There lies in the holy grail for a guitar player. I don't think you ever master it. You become a slave to the guitar, but it's a slave of love. because you want to change strings. You want to try this, change pickups. I want to try that. I want to change the tone pot and the volume pot. I want to change the switch. Does the switch make it sound different? And you go through all these different things, and it drives you mad. But because you love the guitar, because I love the guitar, I always come back to it. But that's cool. At this moment in time, I have released 3 albums. So the first one was Unfinished Business. The second one I broke down into 3 EPs. Has It Got What It Takes album was broken down into 3 EPs. So Best in Wasting Time, Has It Got What It Takes, and Cold Morning Coffee. And then I've just released my 3rd album, which is called Comfortable Skin, which is out right about now. So there's 32 songs on there. I've also released a instrumental EP of 4 songs, which were just instrumental songs, instrumental ideas that I didn't want to put lyrics to the music. All of which have all been written on guitar. Not this one, but all been written on guitar. There's only one song that I got the inspiration for away from the guitar, which was on piano, and that's a song called Weather in Heaven, which is off the new album. But all the other songs, 31 songs there, have all been inspired me to get that creativity going, and the instrument that I always go to is the guitar. So that's another reason why I love the guitar, because if I don't get music's inside me, I feel, and if I don't get that out, it can be really, really negative for my emotional state. So I can use the guitar to help me to be creative, and I can pick the guitar up, and most of the time I don't practice, but I'll pick the guitar up and I'll just be fiddling around, and I end up coming up with a little riff or a little chord progression, and then I record it on my phone mostly nowadays, but I used to jot that down or get a tape recorder and put it down, and that's where our songs come from, the inspiration. But it's all creativity from the guitar, or if I get a lyric in my head, I'll come to the guitar straight away and then I'll work it out from there. So amazingly creative instrument for me, and for others. But that's why another reason why I love guitars. Another side of the creativity for the guitar is it allows me to play out live and play in bands, and to go out and be creative in a band sense, whether that's a covers band or whether that's in playing my own music. So it enables me to be social, which I find hard sometimes. I'm not ashamed to say that. I suffer with anxiety a lot, and I do think that a guitar is like a buddy for me. It helps me, especially when I'm playing live. It's nice. If I don't have a guitar, it's like you feel naked. But you got a guitar, like I've got my buddy with me, so I'm okay, which is cool. Another reason with the creativity is I just think it's portable, so you can go anywhere with a guitar. You can go to your mate's house and write a song. You can go down to a studio and do a session there, and you can just get out and use it. And the possibilities with the guitar are infinite. You can do whatever you like and sound cool and look cool at the same time. Cool. So marching on through with why I love guitars. We're on part 4 now. So the music that these things, these strange shaped, out of this world named metal stringed things have brought us throughout the years. I think, as I going back to my first point, guitars have been one of the most influential instruments throughout the last 50, 60, 70 years, especially within the modern music era. They've created some of the most memorable times in my life from my musical journey, and I just think that they are the most wonderful and fantastically emotional instruments that you can use and that you can listen to. All of my major heroes, musical heroes, have all been, bar one, have all been guitar players. So George Harrison, Brian May, Albert Lee, Francis Rossi and Rick Parfitt from Status Quo, Slash, Joe Perry, Brad Whitford, Gary Rossington, Alan Collins, all those guys. I'm trying to think more, just coming off the top of my head. So Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton, Greg Allman, Dickie Betts, Joe Walsh, Don Felder, all these guys, Paul Kossoff, all these guys, always guitar players, and they've given me some immense joy of listening to their music and being inspired by them to write my own music. The one person who is one of my ultimate heroes, who was not a guitar player, but he did play guitar, was Freddie Mercury. More piano, but every other hero of mine, musical hero, is a guitar player. So that's another thing, and the music that they've brought me levitates me to why I love guitar. It's what I grew up with. So I grew up loving guitar, and I've continued to love guitar. Okay, so I asked myself a question at the beginning, or I posed a question at the beginning: is the guitar dead? I would argue no. It's not getting as much exposure as it did in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe a renaissance in the 90s. It's not getting as much exposure nowadays. But I still think it's out there and it's still alive and kicking. The likes of James Bay, I think, is a fantastic young artist who's a fantastic advocate of the guitar. Jake Bugg, I'm not really too keen on his music, but I think I love his guitar work and the way that he loves guitars. You've still got the old rockers going out there, so you've got Queen still going, you've still got U2, you've still got Skynyrd at this minute in time still working, you've still got Guns N' Roses, you've still got Aerosmith, so we've still got all these bands that are there, but we've also got new bands coming through, younger bands, like I said, Jake Bugg and James Bay, Biffy Clyro, all these bands that are there which are using guitars, and I think possibly going into the country scene, there's a lot of country players who are playing guitar still as ever, which is great. So I don't think guitar is dead at all. I also think you've got the likes of Ed Sheeran, who is a big advocate of the guitar and working with the guitar, which I think is great because that's bringing it to a whole new audience, and I think that's fantastic for the instrument. For the ladies, we've got Taylor Swift, who's a fantastic musician. No matter what you think of her music, a fabulous musician and a guitar player. We've got Sheryl Crow, always a fantastic guitar player, a fantastic songwriter. So there's still music there for people who love guitars. It's not as prominent as it used to be because I think the music industry has moved in different places now anyway. So you have to go and look for your music more now than you used to. There's different instruments that are being used now. A lot of production with pre-recorded sounds. But the guitar is alive and kicking. And I think for me, the reason why I love it is, as I've said, the feel, the look, the sound, the creativity it brings me, and the music that it's brought me and the music that it's bringing me. And I think the guitar will be here forever. The guitar is never going to die. The big corporates who are worried about the sales might be going down a bit because I haven't bought any, no, because I'm not buying any guitars. That's different to me than the guitar, people enjoying the music, people wanting to learn to play the guitar, and people just enthusing about the beauty and how wonderful these instruments are. So that's it. That's why I love guitars. If you love guitars, please leave me a comment down below. Let me know. Hit that subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications. I do a video for my channel every week. Sometimes it's a new song. Sometimes it's a video like this where I'm talking about why my passion about music. And sometimes it's a look around my home studio. So if you like guitar culture, if you're into guitars, if you are into new music, if you like listening to guitar songwriters, singer-songwriters, or if you like coming into home studios and seeing what's going on, you're more than welcome. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you all again next week. Have a great time, and love the guitar. Cool. Peace.